the sweet one, please. Someone flips me a bag body. Oh, it's another one. It's another one, yeah. It's a full run, yeah. Oh, it's another one. It's another one, yeah.
He's a lover man. You know, that's really growing on me right there. But welcome, people. Welcome to another edition of the R&R Hour with myself, Rico Boxing, and my brother from another mother, Ra Hokam. Add the addies in the bottom left or right, whichever perpendicular adjacentness it is. But welcome one and all. I know it's a late one. Obviously, Ra and I have children and lives. Well, I do. So had to delay it a little bit, but what's going on? Big up Tony Ellis, big up Untraceable. Who else have we got? We probably got our other people, Chris and that coming through, but a very interesting time in boxing. By interesting, I mean very what the fuckish. Excuse my French. It there's just a lot. We're gonna pack, we're gonna dissect, and we're gonna scissor all the little bits and try and piece them all up together. Now, one of the topics that we have today, Ra, actually, can you introduce the topics, please?
All right. Couple of things that happened in the past week. Buatsi fought, claims he wants to fight Anthony Yarde. Bukayo, no need to apologize because our man Rico was late. He's got to get his hair on point. He was in the shower.
My hair is atrocious right now. I was at the gym, damn it. Okay. Mental Health Awareness Month. No, I think that was last month.
Working out. He's got to get in shape for when Alicia returns. Yeah. Hey, listen. He's putting in that grind for summer. But yeah, Buatsi v. Yarde, allegedly. That's what he says he wants. Billy Joe Saunders says he's coming back. The man who seemingly finished him, Canelo, of course, had a underwhelming win. And Charlo's called him out. And we've got an absolute farce with the British heavyweight title fight that never was, it seems. So we're going to try and piece all of that together.
Where do we go first?
Let's review what happened last week very briefly. We talked about it. Buatsi's big comeback. Untraceable. Why don't British boxers move ahead? We'll come to that. We'll come to that in a bit. But yeah, Buatsi's comeback on Sky, very underwhelming. Apparently, people were leaving the arena, and now he's saying he wants to fight Anthony Yarde. Let's start there. You know what? I did say that Buatsi, he needed something big, and he can't be, he can't convince me unless he beats one of the two formidable champions. And now he's saying he wants to fight Yarde. All of his decisions, they just don't make sense. If you wanted to fight Yarde, why didn't you go with Queensbury? Frank Warren has made no secret for years that he's a big admirer of Buatsi. So, yeah, I don't know. It seems like some of them fighters over on Sky and Boxer, they're just looking for clout, for calling different fighters names. What do you think?
I mean, it's interesting because it's when we wanted the Yarde fight, they didn't want to give us the Yarde fight. But now that he's pretty much, I don't know, would I say he's almost Jenga'd himself, bro. Like he built himself up with obviously Hearn, Matchroom, and everything like that. Sky that built him up, and he almost just unpicked all of the pieces. Because why? Right after that, yes, you're out of the ring for a year, but there was no spike coming back from Stepien. Sorry if I'm stating his name wrong. There was no spike coming back from those punches. There was nothing. He didn't look to me like he actually had belief in himself and he was gonna come. That was like a glorified sparring session. in my opinion. But the thing is, with the yard fight, I do believe that Buatsi has the technical skills, know-how, and spitefulness from watching him previously to dismantle Yard. But the thing is, Yard has dynamite in both of those hands, mate. I mean, he literally, Beterbiev was even like, what the hell? Like, yeah, I didn't realize you were this good at the end. Like, I actually felt those London punches right there. So, with Buatsi, very underwhelming performance. Understandable that they walked out because really and truly, they didn't really stay for him. If you looked at the undercard, like we touched on last week, there was mostly Birmingham fighters on the undercard. That's how they sold all those tickets. So obviously, when you're there for the main event and seeing that performance there, it obviously wasn't really, didn't really have people up out of their seats. So Buatsi's reasoning for me is it just doesn't make any sense. You've said no to a world title for that, and now you want to fight a domestic rival who's been up there at that level and who doesn't really need you right now. If I'm honest, Yard doesn't actually need Buatsi at all at this moment in time, because even though he lost, everybody still has Yard's name in their mouth. I do. I'm a huge Yard fan. I'll be real. Like, my boy is actually really good friends with him, and obviously, says to me that he's a lovely guy in person, which comes across definitely. And I don't know. I want bigger things for Yard. I think Yard needs to go fight. What's that guy's name? Beterbiev destroyed him for the WBO.
Smith Jr.
Smith. Yeah, take that fight. Much more money. Easy to make. Same platform. Seems like it's going to be next anyway. It'll probably be for a WBO mandatory or something along those lines, no doubt. Uncle Frank will put some sauce on that. And yeah, for me, I don't know what Buatsi needs to do, because I'm very disappointed.
Yeah, listen, let's look what Untraceable's saying. If he goes to Queensbury, loses to Yard, he'll get shelved. Do you think that at some level, Buatsi now knows? Do you think he knows what a weak position he's actually in? Because
yes,
as he
that's
said,
why he's on TalkSport.
If he loses, I mean that's it, because it's not like he's a big draw. He hasn't built a massive fan base with his personality or anything like that.
No, he did, because he's a church boy. He's likable, easily marketable. He is the definition of be humble and all of that type of shit. You know what I mean? So yeah, you know what I mean. But he was. It's so weird how Yard and him have just switched in terms of like the popularity aspect. Do you know what I mean? Because Yard said he went to Russia to fight Kovalev. Probably for less money as well, going into Russia, bro. Buatsi has no excuses for me. There's nothing that I can hear from him after his rival went there, right? After not even going through the same type of levels and building up and support from at the way that Buatsi did with Eddie. He leveled him up the correct way, took him the correct route, I feel, going through the British, winning the British, Commonwealth, etc., etc. So, the balls on Yard are just massive, bro. Like, love him or hate him, guy, that's the standard for me. So Buatsi's not reached that. To say no to a world title.
Bukayo, he doesn't share your love for Yard. I've never seen someone lose getting so much praise. Yard was good for a round or two, but that was it. He does have a point, but who against Beterbiev is good for more than a round or so?
Thank you.
I don't. Have we seen it yet? I don't think so. And when they are good against Beterbiev for a round or two, it's usually because he's letting them, because he's taking a breather or just admiring the scenery or whatever.
Stuck it on him. 175 pounds of pure inside counter-punching fightingness. Okay, went through the rings of fire, bro, and he just came unstuck. I truly believe he'll be a world champion one day. Definitely. But for me, Buatsi, who do you fight? You went there to box, huh? So you're gonna fight an Aziz, who's just won British Championship. Something you won how many fights ago?
Yeah, it's strange. I don't know
You're
if
only gonna fight. No, right? He's only gonna fight him for the bread. So he's only gonna fight him for the money. That's the only reason that fight would make sense. But you said no to 1 million and a world title shot.
Yeah.
Promoters lie. No, not like promoters lie. Don't believe everything a promoter says, obviously, but that's undeniable that happened. You know, and then you to come out and say, well, what are the drawbacks? You didn't even look at the deal. That tells me you've not even looked at the deal. They've offered you the world title shot, and you've just not even looked at it and said, "No, I'm going to go to boxer." That makes sense.
Very confusing. I don't know what Buatsi's line of thinking for his career is.
I hope he's praying on that Sunday at church. I hope he's praying on that decision, right? And really fucking taking a good look. Yeah, Saka, Lyndon Arthur. But why? He's not. Do we want to see him fight a domestic rival? I don't want to see that. I want to see him mix it up.
No, you're right. He's done that. He's won the British title.
Yeah, man.
If you're gonna fight, your rivals, it should be when you're at that level. If you decide to stay at the British level and deal with your British rivals, then you do it. You don't sort of start moving up to #1 ranking in the world and then go back to
and then go back down.
No, that don't make sense. But Dan Aziz is ranked #2 by the WBA. He's ranked #1, so I guess they could pass it as
so funny. Yeah. They are the most hilarious, like, sanctioning body out of all of them. Like, so I respect. I respect the fact that they just do it right in front of our faces. Like, you know what? We're just gonna make this guy a champion. We're just gonna do this.
What are you gonna do?
We don't give a fuck what you have to think about it. We don't care what you say. We're gonna put this person as Mando. What? oh.
So Buatsi, we're not high on. What do we think? By the end of the year, will he have that world title shot? Will he be still in the same position he is? Will he ever fulfill his potential?
I only want to hear from Buatsi. I only want to hear fight news. I don't want to hear anything else about Kavitz, about anything. Right? Fight, good fight, high world ranked fighter, done. And fight in London. Or do you know what I mean? Or something. Like go on a paper pick, go on an undercard of a paper. You know what I mean? Like you were built into being a headliner, and it's I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the modern day fighter, but it's just this. Anyway, let's just move on. Let's just move on.
All right. So of course Canelo and our man Ryder. My prediction was right. Not exactly the way I thought it'd go, but he lasted the 12 round. Did John was well beaten in the end, but it's fair to say that is Canelo. We've seen the best of him. It does look like from his recent performances, and some people went as far as to say if it was a 15-round fight, Ryder could have won that. Do you think
if
that
if the sky was purple,
yeah,
we would have purple sunsets.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, but do you think that there's not, as inevitably in this game, the signs of decline are there in Canelo now? Reason I ask, as we said,
right?
Charlo
he has been fighting since he was 5 years old, 6 years old.
Professionally since he was 15, yeah. So,
bro, like, of course, Canelo is not like. Look at what happened to Joseph. Okay, Joseph Joyce, we myself included, all thought that man had vibranium for a skeleton, and we saw the Zhang Bang China man disperse him, bro. Like he murked him like Big John Fisher does some fucking spring onion rolls, bro. Okay, absolutely decimated him, bro. And Joseph has. We'll move on to that, I guess. But like, it's for me. I don't know. What do you think, Rob? What do you think? I'll say what I think, but I want to hear.
I think he is in decline. He not dramatically. I think he will still be too good for any super middleweight for the rest of this year. I don't think he'll ever be good enough to beat Bivol or any of the top light heavyweights now. So
I think he might have one more in him. I don't know. It's hard to say.
Light heavyweight?
John Ryder is the hardest man in England. John Ryder is the hardest man in England, bro. Like after he's probably had the best performance against Canelo than any other British fighter.
Yeah.
Where is the lie?
Much. As Tracy said,
no.
Why do British fighters not move their head?
You know what? I don't know what the game plan was, but what game plan do you get against Canelo? To be honest with you, but I feel like now Benavidez is smelling blood. Okay, absolutely. I think that Canelo has one more proper world star elite performance left in him, and I think he's going to do that with Bivol, and then after that, probably the Benavidez fight, and I would call it a day, man, because or just lessen the opposition, but then again, it's a tough one because when Canelo's going to be what 33, 34, fighting from when he was 3-4 in the favelas of Mexico. Don't even know if Mexico have favelas, but he was fighting there. Turned pro 15, fed journeyman. Fought Mayweather at 20. Like you can't mimic that resume. Do you know what I mean? It's just the resume in its own. It's fucking beautiful, to be honest, when you actually see it. But arguably, Canelo's lost 5 times, bro. Arguably, he's lost like 5 times. Like nobody says it, but it's true.
You're not wrong. I don't hold that against him. I'm no fan of his, as you know, but Muhammad Ali arguably lost a couple of the fights that he got decisions in. So
everybody does.
Over the course of a very extensive career, that'll happen. But yeah, Bukayo's bringing us back on point. The Charlo sisters calling out by. Well, so what? I've not been on top of the news. Has Jamal Charlo, who disappeared for 2 years, is he back out there now?
I've heard whispers of his return on the tweet line on Tweet FM. I've heard that he is trying to make a comeback. I think there was obviously personal issues. I'm not going to say because that's none of my business, bro. And hopefully we see him back. And we have something. Canelo Alvarez today. F it. That bitch can't beat me with that. Whatever, last performance.
It's all right. We're past the watershed.
The only thing is, Charlo, the only thing that I can say to you is that at least we've seen a performance, right? What the fuck have you done?
Well, you know what? That statement.
No, the answer is nothing. He's done absolutely zero.
What Charlo doesn't get is that statement alone. He doesn't understand the irony. He's saying that bitch can't beat me. Well, you're only calling him out because he's looking crap. When he was looking on top of his game, why weren't you in there? But
he's not even 168 pounds, has he?
He hasn't fought there yet, no. So I don't know what that's all about. Is this again? Are those PBC guys doing what some of these Sky Sports guys are doing and just using other stars' names?
It's all propaganda. It's all clout sharing.
Just like
we're gonna share some clout today. Here's some clout from us, and then here's some clout from you.
Yeah. Has has Charlo even got a fight lined up? I mean, Bukayo, he's making no bones about that. He's a hater, but well, you know what? A bit harsh, Bukayo. Jamel
Nah,
is
you can't say
undisputed.
brothers. Nah, you can't say
The
154
smaller
Charlo is
ones.
the only Charlo that I know exists.
Yeah, he's undisputed. He fought the Argentine. Is it Castro?
He fought, what was it? Castamero.
I forget the Argentine's name.
Is
Apologies.
it Castamero? Castamero,
No,
something to that
I
effect.
thought it was Castro, but
Yeah.
fought him twice. You know, when he's Harrison.
My guy from Detroit. Detroit, what? Oh shit, what's his name? Yeah, I fought my guy
Tony Harrison. Yeah,
Tony Harrison.
He fought Tony Harrison, and look, the 2 times he's fallen short, he's gone away, knuckled down, did the work, and dealt with business in the rematch. So you can't. That's not something to hate on. Come on, Bukayo. You know. But, all right, Harry. Big up, Harry. Harry, of course,
Love to have you. It's late evening.
Work for our friends over at No Smoke. So big up to them. I know him well from the fight scene.
He's the realest man.
Many a night out.
The absolute realist. Can't wait for everybody to come together. It's gonna be like the Avengers, bro. Ostrich meat, whiskey everywhere.
You know, for all the viewers, you know that the invitation's there. Just a reminder, me and Rico in his home turf of Bournemouth in 2 weeks. We're going to the show, and he's going to treat us to a Zim restaurant, which is called Zim.
Ironically,
good old Southern African braai, if you like your meat. So
it's gonna be wavy. It's gonna be wavy. But just moving on from what actually we have a return of somebody at 168, a Mr. Laron Richards. What do you think about Laron?
Laron's fighting tomorrow night in Leicester. Now, Harry, I was only joking about getting Rico to treat us all to dinner. He's shown us the restaurant. That's enough. We can all pay our way. But Laron, he's back, made probably the biggest strategic blunder of a fighter's career, turning down a chance to fight on the Canelo undercard. And here he is on small hall shows, trying to get his name back out there. Big shame.
I mean, he was on the space. He was on a Twitter space that I did a couple of weeks back, and we were speaking to him. I think he might have been on that one, right, actually, but when I was asking him, he was, when I say elusive, I mean, it kind of felt like he didn't really, I don't know, there wasn't really a good enough excuse for how everything kind of played out from what I could see. And it didn't seem like there was a plan for not only the immediate future from when obviously he hadn't been fighting, because he's been out the ring for what, a year now?
Yeah,
maybe longer than that.
Over a year. The rumors I've heard is he had a lot of problems with Dave Caldwell, his coach. So maybe that's why he couldn't take the fight at the time, that fight with Akhmedov. But whatever. I mean, listen, his skill set is undeniable. I think he can.
Undeniable.
He can beat
the guy is elusive, like silk. Honestly. And, you know, it'd be great. It's obviously going to be really great to see him back in the ring. Hopefully he stays there, because I don't know what's going on with that generation of guys from like 3 years ago, bro. They're all just fucking up the bag. I've never seen anything like it, right? And they're all doing it one after the other. It's like, what is going on? The inactivity has been appalling from so many fighters. To be out the ring for a year as a fighter, like that, I don't think they know how detrimental that is to their actual careers, man. It's ridiculous. So, you know, it'd be good to see him back. Got some more boxing on the weekend. We'll get sparked by Big Simpson. Yeah, boy.
Callum Simpson. Harry, of course, was the guy that practically discovered Callum. He made me a believer in him, but I think they're on different stages of their careers. But if Lerone doesn't get a move on, he may well get fed to someone like a Simpson.
Exactly, Saka. Like he literally
seemed to be on the cusp. Well, Bukayo, I think it was more than that. He weren't on the cusp. He
had
had
it.
the fight with Akhmedov on the Canelo BJS undercard. That's not a cusp. You were there. You were on the biggest stage, a top 10 contender.
He was what, IBO world champion? Like, bro, it's just
yeah.
I don't. There has to be some extreme reasoning for me, and I feel now, whatever, maybe contractual issues or whatever like that. Eventually, all that shit, even though it takes time, it does go away. Nobody's got unlimited money, and when you're in UK courts, that's all it is. It's just whoever's got more money, and sometimes you just, you just get to a point where you're like, nah, man, like fuck it, So whatever it is, but I don't know. I'm just speculating that may be true or not true or whatever. Let's just get him back in the ring, get some momentum going, get some more domestic seasoning, going for that 168 title again, and hopefully not get another one of our guys just Canelo, because Mexico, I want to build a wall around Mexico in the UK, right? I want to keep them all out or keep our guys in, so they don't have to go and catch an L, bro, like in Vegas or wherever it is every single time. It's very disheartening. Do you know the last 5 or 6 British fighters that I've watched Canelo fight in a row have got fucked up, and this has been like 4 o'clock in the morning, every single one of them. So the next person I'm getting, I'm gonna need them to actually be able to be like, okay, fine, I'll be invested in this, because I can't take another John Ryder heartbreak. It's not in me anymore, bro.
And
I'm like,
talking of
it affects me double time.
Talking of someone who got fucked up by Canelo, Billy Joe Saunders, of course, he's making noises about coming back. Yeah, did Canelo take his soul? Because he's disappeared. The photos aren't flattering. He looks like he's all the way up at heavyweight. Every 6 months or so, he says he's coming back, but we don't actually then see it come to fruition. What do you think? Should he come back? Can he come back? Kev thinks he can fight Andrade, another guy who's sort of a bit like Lerone, just threw his career away.
What's going on? What is going on? This is what I was saying previously. Why all this? And then every single one of them made bad business decisions. Every single one.
Here's an idea for you. We're talking about tournaments. Maybe all the guys at super middleweight and middleweight who fucked up their careers trying to get a Canelo fight should fight each other now, because it's like, hey, look, Canelo's taken all of your souls one way or another, so you're all now mentally in the same place.
Bro, give me what? Give me LeBron. Give me a Zach Parker. Give me an Andrade. Give me all of these guys, all these other guys in a Royal Rumble, and just let's see, Misfits 09.
That's absolutely it. Kev thinks he should fight Andrade. Yeah, of course. There was it twice that fight was mooted to have happened and didn't. Has Andrade? Did he have a fight recently? He's gone over to the PBC. Do you think Billy Joe against Eubank would still be intriguing, because they're both damaged goods?
That's always going to be good, because the presser will be good, right? If two fighters come in and the press is good, people will buy the fight. Like Kell Brook, Khan, everybody knew they were past their best, well past their best, especially Khan, Jesus. But we knew the pressers were going to be flamed. We knew that there was going to be accusations, penetrations, all these type of things past, so it sells, like all this stuff sells. And Billy and Eubank, now that Eubank's discovered this amazing talking side to him that I am sold on, Yeah, bro, give it to me. I'll just take my money, whatever.
Of course you would.
Whatever. Add a WBO Intercontinental title to that, and I'm sold.
It won't take much with both their talking ability.
Yeah,
But
but
yeah, let's wait.
Mayan belt,
Wait and see.
and we're there.
Let's wait and see if he does come back. Because like I said, every 6 months he's been saying he's coming back and then disappears again. So, of course, the news that's been reverberating around the Twitter sphere, of course, this aborted British heavyweight title purse bid. What do you think? Who's to blame? Do you care? Do you feel sorry for anyone in any of this?
I completely, unequivocally, undeniably blame Boxer and Ben Shalom and Fraser Clark. All of them, right? And I'm going to tell you why. Because why would you waste all of those people's time if you're going to pull out of the purse bid on just within the hour of the purse bid happening? Do you know that is such bad business and bad manners? Manners is very, very big for me. Do you know what I mean? Like, who is gonna want to do business with them when they're doing that type of shit? And Ben is literally all over. Like, I've met Ben. You build relationships with people when you start to meet them and things and da, 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 da. But at the end of the day, you have to be, and it's true. Like, it's a shambles. You're saying that you offered, so this is where we are now, right? In the EastEnders drama. Okay. So basically, Ben has offered Fabio, right? Apparently, he offered him before the purse bid a 1-fight deal that was apparently Fabio's, that would be his biggest purse. Okay. Fabio said no. Okay. Hell no. You've not, this isn't even as much as my last 10-round fight. So someone's lying. I just want receipts, and I want Ben quickly and promptly when they are out. That's all I want.
Rico, you pointed those 3 figures as being to blame to various degrees. There's one party in this you've not mentioned, and I'm thinking they might be the real cause behind.
So do I, Sucker. And I'm not hating on him. Sorry, bro. Let me just answer the Sucker quick. It's not having an honest opinion about something isn't hating, bro. Like, I've not said Ben is a dickhead or this or nothing. I like the guy. He's a very good guy. I like Boxer. I like everything they're doing, but not this. This is stupid. Like, there's a video of the British head of the British Boxing Board Control saying that his team, Fraser's team, asked for the consideration to be mandatory. So you do not ask for the consideration to be mandatory, be made mandatory, and then pull yourself out within the hour of the purse bid happening. And then if you're saying that you're giving somebody his career highest purse and payday, right? Then why don't you just put it in the purse bid if he says no? Because obviously, if it's his career high, you know you're going to win. So it's just a little bit of common sense. It's just a little bit.
Okay, you've addressed Bukayo that you ain't hating on Ben, but I just wonder whether there's something a lot nastier going on in all of this. Shall I tell you why? So. What I think we've got going on is actually Sky Sports, because there was a lot of talk of how incensed a lot of the Sky Sports executives were when Eddie Hearn left for DAZN and left saying a few disparaging things. Now, they've got these fighters like Ben Whittaker and Fraser who are signed to the same management team that Anthony Joshua owns. But Anthony Joshua took himself over to DAZN. And I just wonder whether Sky Sports are just feeling screwed over because they paid these enormous signing on fees, allegedly. We don't know what the actual contracts say, to Ben Whittaker and Fraser Clark, only to see the management team that brokered it take the biggest star, AJ, over to their new rival. I just wonder whether part of this is Sky Sports actually now saying, you know what,
Of course it is.
Hearn and
Of course,
them,
bruh.
they've been fucking us about. Let's fuck them around and see how they like that. And I just wonder whether Ben Shalom, they said all along, this time we're going to get a promoter who's not center of attention. I think what they meant was, we just need some naive kid who he's going to be the face to take the brunt for all the criticism, and he'll just accept it. I wonder whether that's what's going on. But really, Sky Sports are the ones behind the scenes telling him.
No, but okay, so this is a separate thing now. We're talking about the blame. Okay, so we're moving the blame of why this fight isn't happening to the side. On the promotional side from Sky, they would be first of all, right, I reckon that Ben didn't, and I know that he didn't think this all the way through, and I'm going to tell you why. Because obviously Ben and Fraser are like, oh no, we want the fight, we're going to take the fight, we've gone for the consideration, this and that, or whatever. They didn't think, right, and I don't know why, but they didn't actually think about DAZN outbidding them for that fight. They didn't think about Fabio not taking any of the deals to go on Sky. So when you've invested that much in an Olympian like a Big Fraser Clark, and he's not even giving you any return on that investment yet, and he could not only lose the fight, but you lose the fighter to your rival network at the same time, right? The L would be ridiculous. If I'm Eddie, I'm rubbing hands like Birdman. If Fabio knocked him out on DAZN, bro, that would have been it. You know what I mean? Because the signing on fee apparently was massive.
Exactly. Harry doesn't buy my theory, but Bukayo, I think Bukayo seems to get where I'm going with this, because as he's saying, it seems like they're not all on the same page. Boxer
which is
didn't
weird.
ask.
Which
so
is weird.
He's got a management team, 258, who are associated with the fighter that betrayed Sky. I'm just speculating that that's how Sky feel about it.
You're absolutely right.
And a promoter who's he close? He's going to be closer to Sky. Sky pay the bills after all. Mm-hmm. So it seems like in three ways, we've got a three-way sort of internal struggle with that team. So all very fascinating. I wouldn't be surprised.
We have a love triangle.
I was going to say power struggle, but you call it a love triangle.
We're dealing with my fellow light-skinned brothers. We're gonna go love triangle over here. And because Saka, you're absolutely 100% on the money, bro. I'm gonna read what Saka's saying now. They have a guy only 6 fights into a 10-fight deal who's only had 1 8-rounder and probably not ready for Wardley. We all know this, right? But why put us through all this nonsense back and forth? Yes, we want fights, purse bids, and then to pull it out. So common sense, Saka, if you know this yourself, who's not even involved in anything, how is it that the people who actually are involved in the shit didn't realize this at the time? I'll leave that question with you lot.
The left hand isn't speaking to the right, Bukayo. Yeah, well, it seems like both hands have competing interests here. All right, here's a conspiracy theory for you.
Oh, my fave.
Are 258 using Fraser and Ben and any of the other fighters over there to actually undermine Sky from within?
That would be like on an Ocean's 11 type of like fucking infiltration.
Listen, the guys in this sport, they're always complaining about just how dirty it is. It's like this is so dirty, because given that it is that dirty,
there's no actual legislative governing body that can control everything and make sure that all the I's are ticked and you know what I mean? Like it's people can get away with what they want to. You know, like that's always been obvious. Look at Don King. Don King. Don King, if anybody don't know who that guy is, go watch his biography and go just Wikipedia, bro. The guy finessed the game. Serious business. Right.
Harry's saying Wardley hasn't been as far in a fight as Bukayo and Ra. Hey, me and Bukayo have never fought, so I don't know what you're getting at there, Harry. No, Harry has corrected himself. What he meant was as in far as a fight as Fraser. Well, Fraser's been, what, 8 rounds and Wardley hasn't. Okay. I don't...
wait, hold on. What round did he spark Gorman in?
That was the 3rd round, wasn't it?
Oh, okay. Round. Yeah.
But I think because Fraser's been 8 rounds with Sokolovsky.
Didn't he knock him out in the 8th round?
No, I don't.
Did he not knock him out that round?
No.
Sokolovsky. I'm sure he dispersed Sokolovsky. I'm sure of it. No?
I'm pretty sure he didn't.
Ben said he would do it in September or at least after Fraser had at least one 10-round fight to prepare him. Well, if Fabio hasn't been 10 rounds anyway, I don't see what the problem there is. Like,
yeah,
it's all just really stupid and weird and just like, I don't know. I'm invested because what can you do, eh? Drama. I just hope that because from what I can see, that Fraser's going to be fighting like another bum.
Yeah, some bodybuilder.
TK apparently like TK. What is it? TKV.
Yeah.
Beat him while he was ill. Like, bro, come on, man. Like, this is the type. You know, right? This is why I get mad because it's like you insult our intelligence, but then you come through and then you give us that instead of what we sort yourselves out. Sort yourselves out, the lot of you. But what I do want to see is I like TKV. He's cool. He's really, really cool. Is a Mr. Adelaide come through, and we've asked I've asked the powers of be to reach out to a Dakras, so hopefully I can get to have a conversation with him. I believe that he might even be called Mando anyway.
Yeah,
I think, you know, so which would be great. I know that he would definitely take the fight, absolutely. But yeah, I'd love to have a conversation with that guy. So if anybody knows him or anything like that, I've tried reaching out. So yeah, let's
make a good point there. It does make you wonder with some of these board decisions as to who they nominate as mandatories. They've done this before with when I remember when Hamza Shiraz was down at 154, they ordered him as for a final eliminator against I think it was Anthony Fowler, and both fighters didn't want it. Anthony Fowler because he was I think he'd just come off I think he had the Liam Smith fight arranged, and Queensbury was saying, no, well, Hamza ain't ready for this. So it makes you wonder. And yet, in this situation, Adelaide wanted it. Sol Dakers wanted it. Fraser Clark said he wanted it, and then we've seen this shit show.
That's what I'm saying. Like you get picked, and then you just give people the runaround, and it's just like it's not cool, man. Like it's not cool for the fans. It puts people off the sport, and it just happens so much. But to answer you, Tony, basically the fight would have to happen. What is it? 9 months after the first bid, Raw?
Yeah, I think it was something like that.
It has to take place 9 months after. So within the 9 months, I believe it is something to that effect.
One boxer just bid. I think, Tony, the reason they didn't bid because they were scared they'd lose it.
They would have definitely lost that. %.
Especially as
I know that Eddie, because to be honest, I'll be honest with you lot, right? Honestly, everybody knows everybody's business in boxing. All promoters, and there's even children out there, 17 years old, that know like deals and stuff that are happening with major promoters. I kid you not, this is real, actual. Big up my guy Dashi, my little bro. I love that little guy. But it doesn't make sense how this has all this information, bro. It's like what? But proud of him, obviously, man. He's gonna be you lot are gonna remember the name 10 years time, not even 10 years time, 5 years time, right? You're gonna when I said Darshan, you're gonna be like, oh yeah. So anyway, check out my little bro, man. But Ben would have known what they were gonna bid, because Eddie would have just sent Eddie would have sent the waves there. One little birdie would have just gone, oh look, I know exactly what they're gonna bid. Sky are gonna be like, we're not bidding that, because it would have been so overpriced, because the majority of the split goes to Fabio, not by a great margin, but Eddie can say, I'm going to bid this much, I'll cap you this, and obviously I have to pay him the 40%. So either way, they were going to win that purse bid. Whoever has the majority stake in the purse from the fighter, whoever promoted there with, they usually work out a deal and stuff. You've seen it with Frank and obviously with Fury and Dillian, loads of fights. So, everyone knows everyone's business, man. And it's just a bit of rebuilding from Benjamin in terms of credibility at the moment.
Just a bit. Evening has it.
We're trying to be nice. We're trying to be nice. Hey man, he's had a tough week.
He's had a tough week. You're right. I mean, these things do tend to get forgotten about when some big news is announced, next week or whatever. These things will get forgotten about. But I really do wish as well the board could move quicker as well. Not just them, even world governing bodies. Like when fighters pull out injured, even just bitch out or whatever. They should make it clear, right? Next guy in line, get ready. Anything goes wrong, you're on. So maybe they should have, instead of let Adelaide sulk off.
Yeah, but the thing is, Adelaide's flipped him off now. So Adelaide's already said, like, F the British board. I'm going to go through the different route. So now they're going to be like, what?
This is
this
is why fighters should try and learn to be diplomatic and hold their tongue as well. I remember I interviewed O'Hara Davies a few weeks back, and I said to him, there's these 3 fighters ahead of you: Puello, Romero, and I forget the other guy. Puello's out, of course, so it's now Rolly against I forget the older chap.
Yeah.
But anyway, I told him, like, look, in this game, there's always fighters failing drug tests, getting injured, falling foul of the law, whatever the case may be. Be ready, because you never know. You might just suddenly be higher up the ladder. So yeah, Adelaide, he should have bit his tongue. Thanks, Harry Barroso. Help the old man out. The old memory ain't what it was. Harry's seen a picture of me from 1976. So
oh dear,
Harry knows how old I really am.
1976.
Sorry,
I said, did they have OnlyFans in 1976?
That VHS porn.
Oh dear, Harry,
you wouldn't know what that is.
Burn all the tapes. But I really want to see an Adelaide. I want to see Adelaide fight him.
Adelaide Ward would be explosive.
Who would have thought that Queensberry would have had a relationship with Matchroom, with George, the great George Warren, right? George Warren, that man is gonna do great things with Queensberry, man. With the acquisition of a Moses Ituma, that kid, he's a freak of nature. Jesus. But yeah, just going back to that, I think that fight will be easily made, and if not, they'll go to purse bids. Ben needs to understand this is the game. The game is the game, right? Eddie, even before George Warren and Eddie were actually speaking to each other, they would settle it with their pockets. Felix am I lying? Felix Cash went over there to Queensberry when Eddie lost the purse. Eddie was losing purse bids left, right, and center, sending his fighters over to Queensberry. He wasn't bitching about it. He's like, I sort of lost the purse bid. Oh well.
I'm laughing at Bukayo's take on it. Adelaide sent him to Mars. He's confident. Listen, I don't know. Are people still writing Wardley off because of his lack of amateur pedigree? He's shown he's athletic and he can punch, and more importantly, he can fight. whenever Wardley's taken a shot or two, what
It's an
I've been
explosive
impressed
fight.
is he doesn't sort of start getting hesitant and second guessing himself. He
No
gets hit. He's
longer.
like, all right, I'm in a fight. Let's have it. Forget tactics. I'm just going for you. So, yeah, I think Wardley's still being underestimated. I hope whoever they get for him, I hope it's a big fight. Because I think Eddie was pretty keen on having that fight at Ipswich Town this summer. He's built a big support base there in Ipswich, and when small towns get a rare sports hero like we've seen with Chris Billam-Smith in Bournemouth, the whole town can get behind him.
No, I don't want to see Dave Allen. No, I don't want to see Dave Allen. I hate this. I hate it when there's fighters that just go away, come years, come back and expect to just go ahead of the pecking. No, Dave, you are fourth in line, bruv, or fifth, or one of them. I don't want to see. I want to see a couple of guys fight before you. I like Dave Allen again. No slate to him, but don't think you can leave the game and come back and think that you can just have like these opportunities, bro. Like it just don't. It's not fair, bro. It's not fair.
It ain't fair, but if Eddie Hearn wants to fill Portman Road, someone like Dave Allen, big support base, popular.
No, I'm talking on the sense of what, like just to get if they offer him a voluntary, then there's nothing that I can say about it. But if he's mandated, I have a problem. I have a major problem with that. Huge, actually.
All right. People carrying on. Clark Wardley was some modern day Ali versus
Sucker's trying to put everyone in the dirt. Sucker's trying to put all of the domestic talent in the dirt.
Bukayo wants to smoke with everyone and everything tonight. I think that
all the Wardley pack. He's smoking on the Fraser pack at the minute. All the pack. Sucker, man, put it down. Put the cones down. We've got no major domestic since White and AJ. Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. We need.
That's right.
I'm just tired of people just pissing on our domestic scene. We need these guys for the future, bro. So if this is all we got, let's just push them and see what happens.
I'll tell you what. Bring up a good point. The top level is so tied up. I mean, between the four guys that are being talked about for this Saudi tournament, I mean, they fight once or twice a year. There's always injuries and rematch clauses delaying things year after year. That actually we would have hoped that these young guns at domestic level, they can fill the void for providing some good entertaining fights. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that. For example, wouldn't you say that something like even say you had a 4-man British tournament, Wardley, Clark, Adelaide, Dakers, you telling me that wouldn't be more entertaining than, say, pretty much any other country has got?
Exactly.
Even say America.
France have Tony Yoka.
Yoka and Takam, they fought.
Need I say more?
Yeah, exactly.
Need I say more? So we're all right. We are okay. So, it could be worse.
Yeah, I don't think anyone necessarily is bigging up these guys' actual level yet, but the level they are, it would be highly entertaining, I think.
But it's a weird transition period at the minute because you have other prospects across the pond like a Jared Anderson, Sanchez. All guys are well. I guess you can't even. I don't know. Like Sanchez, you call him a prospect. I don't know. Like it's a very weird time because no one's kind of crossing over except for the elite guys. No one's kind of crossing over and fighting each other. And do you know what I mean? Like from like British to kind of European to fringe world. So we're not really getting kind of those fights anyway. So I don't know, man. We'll have to wait and see.
You're right. That's why I think Bukayo's making this point. we could have had Wardley v Adelaide next month if it weren't for Boxer. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly why we're fuming. It's just there's so many delays anyway.
Saka, you're scoring
and then
goals, Saka. You're scoring goals, my dear.
pulling stunts like that, just holding up the division, holding up.
It gets boring, man.
Even more. Again, and that's why I just wonder: is part of it Sky or even Boxer? Are they now going down the dirty route of like, yeah, let's start sabotaging our rivals' business. Let's muck them around. I don't know. But
if they are, I want a Netflix series about this, bro, because that is some saucy shit right there. Jesus Christ.
But in the long term, they're hurting their own business, as people are saying. Who's going to want to do business with them?
Ben's got, like I said, he's got a lot of rebuilding to do. He's going to have to come out tomorrow with a fucking incredible interview. IFL. Umar. And Adelaide will fight him at Labrador Trade Station. That's what I'm saying, Saga. That's what I'm saying, bro. Do you know what I mean? The ilk of an Adelaide and a Wardley. These men are on the road kind of guys, bro. And I like that. I'm not gonna lie. It gives for great entertainment and punchification, which is always a plus.
Bukayo sounds like he doesn't rate Wardley much. This bogey man is cringes. I don't think anyone thinks of him as a bogey man. Have you heard of him referred to that way?
No, but I'm going to start that rumor now.
All right,
I will push the agenda. If he were to be a boogeyman, then Fabio Wardley can do his thing. I refuse this separation of things right there. Like, yeah. That's the summary. That's what you guys need to get out today. Fabio Wardley is the new boogeyman of the division.
Saka, you made the mistake of criticizing Team Lighty. Rico's coming out in favor of Team Lighty all day. So
I is heavily invested in my dark skin brothers, bro. Come on, man. Come on. Wardley is also the guy, bro. But I have a lot of love for Adelaide, man. I like his style. You know, it seems like there's good things on the horizon from what I can see. So hopefully if we see these young men still carry on and hopefully try and make the fights that we want, because I believe that if that fight gets called, Adelaide will take it. I think so.
Do you think he'll take it at short notice as well?
Short notice, anything. I feel like, because why wouldn't he? What has he got to lose?
All right. Well, let's hope also our, as you mentioned, our mysterious benefactor, iBoxing Hub. If you can get in touch with Souljakers, I'd be interested to see what he has to say about all this. He's gone a bit quiet, but he's, again, logical. English champ. Should go on, fight for the British title. IFL TV interviewed Ben Shalom.
No, Tony. I saw that interview. I'm talking about a better one. He needs to scrap that one and come back with some better sauce, because that was just not that. He came out worse than what he came in, right? So now he's at a stage where they're trying to drop offers and purse bids on Twitter. No. Regroup, good sleep, come back tomorrow.
Harry's saying Jack Massey's got the best heavyweight on his record. Well, yeah, he's got former WBO world champion.
Jack Massey, ever since that Parker fight, Jack Massey's just not been able to get rid. People are just, Harry, you're a joker, bro.
That's Jack Massey has gone back down to cruiserweight, hasn't he? I think he's.
Has he got back down to cruiser?
I think he said
he just came up for an appearance. All right.
Yeah. Well, just to get onto Harry's radar, by the sound.
Yeah, bro, just to dip his baby toe in the heavyweight wars.
All right, Rico. I know you've had a long day. I was going to go out tonight, cancelled it because I know people want to do a bit of boxing talk. So for you guys, cancelled my night out. But
sorry, bro, man. You didn't need to do that, Rob, bro. You could have still call him out. It's early anyway. Bro, who's going out at 10 o'clock?
I'm going to work tomorrow, so it's just as well. Just about the coming weekend. What's happening tomorrow? We've got a Queensbury show. I'll be there. So those of you who follow me on Insta and Twitter, you'll see some content. Of course, I interviewed the First Lady today, Cecilia Breckhurst. She's on that big card in Dublin in a fortnight. Obviously, we'll talk about that next week. But tomorrow night, of course, Karol Itauma's making his comeback. We've got Ellis Zorro against Hosea Burton. Fascinating fight that at cruiserweight. So those of you
fascinating card, to be fair. The whole card's kind of out there, to be honest. Yeah, Saka misfits.
Yeah, you guys will have to educate me on that. Will you go to the Mississippi? No, I had to look up those two girls that were half naked and throwing punches just to see what they were about. Seems that it's not really boxing.
That's it, just to see what they're about. Yes.
Yeah, meaning from a boxing point of view, I had to see whether they're real boxers or not. But TM14, Harry, big up Harry, reminded me. Yeah, my friends at TM14, they've got their micro show at Peacock, and we got to big that up because our friend Trey here at iBoxing Hub, his company Ticket Pass do the tickets for those shows, only £25, and it's very small, but you're pretty much right there by ringside. So if you're in the Canning Town area, 2 o'clock till 5, just a few hours, some good fights. None more so than the headliner, Dee Allen, future star, I think, of the women's game. She's knocked 3 of her 4 opponents out. She's mandatory for the European title that Kirsty Bavington lost. Yeah, she could be a real star at welterweight in the next year or so. So she'll be at the Peacock in a tune-up fight. So I'll be there. So I'm working Friday and Saturday this weekend.
Nice.
iBoxing Hubs pointed out our man Chris Bienge. He will be at the Misfit event. So look out for some interviews there. Hope he doesn't get distracted by those two ladies in underwear.
Like you, right? You seem like you're distracted right now, bro. It's a good thing you're not going.
Yeah, I've had to switch my Instagram off. Yeah. Yeah, that's why I don't go to those sort of events. I wouldn't be able to concentrate on the job at hand. So yeah, we've still got boxing on this weekend. So look out for that. And then of course next weekend is absolutely massive. We've got Katie Taylor in Dublin, and then of course in the early hours, your favourite boy and one of my favourite boys, Haney against Loma. So it's going to be a good summer of boxing to look ahead to.
Absolutely cannot wait for that Haney fight. Yes, Saka, we're going to be doing a watch along. The watch alongs are coming fast and furious now. So, and they seem to have quite a bit of engagement, man. So I really want to big up everybody that always comes in and tunes into the R&R, to our other shows as well on here. So I just want to say thank you all for your continued support, man. Big up to everybody, man. I genuinely hope you guys had an absolutely amazing week. Raw, I think we're cool to pretty much cut it here now. But we will be back next week with all the live news reviews of the of this weekend's boxing. Please go and support our brother Trey and his business there, selling those tickets for that event. It seems like it's going to be a really, really good event. Yeah. Ra, take it away.
Yeah, as you said, our two friends, the Congolese duo, Chris and Trey, they'll be back, I believe, Sunday.
Yes.
So yeah, you can catch their review of the week as well and the week ahead. And me and you will see everyone next week, Sunday 7:30. Yeah, but for us for now, it's been a good Thursday night, gents. We hope to see you soon.
God bless everyone, man. Take care, man. Big up everyone.
Goodbye.